Enter a world of enchantment, of enlightenment, Meg's magical mansion.
Hey everybody, it's Meg, and it's day 11 of the 12 Days of Gothic Yule. And today we are outside because we're going to be taking a little field trip. Today we're going to do one of my favorite things to do at Yule time, and that's to go do a cemetery walk. And there's a particular cemetery I go to visit because it's kind of a lost, lonely little cemetery that's been kind of forlorn and forgotten. It's not very well cared for. Most of the graves there aren't visited by anybody. As a matter of fact, I rarely see flowers of any kind on any of the graves there. And some of the graves don't even have markers or names to indicate who's buried there. There's a lot of little forlorn-looking children's graves, and I don't know, I like to go and I like to speak the names of the people who do have gravestones with a name on them. Because one of the best ways to remember people or to keep them alive, keep their spirit alive, is to speak their name. So, today we're going to take a little walk through that cemetery. If you would be kind enough to speak the name of some of the people who you see listed on these headstones, speak their name while you're watching the video. It's really important that we keep them alive, keep that person's memory alive. Just say their name if you see a headstone that speaks out to you while you're watching this. And I think it's important to visit some of these lost places and try to help keep the memory of these people and their lives alive. So I'm not going to talk a lot. I think we'll just take a walk and maybe I'll just say a few names for you. Welcome to the Rosemary Cemetery. This cemetery has been here in Sarasota, Florida since the beginning of the city, and many of the early pioneer families have been buried here. Here's just a little bit of information on the cemetery. But this area currently has quite a bit of homelessness. And as you can see around the perimeter of the cemetery, there is a lot of trash and garbage. Here's a little bit more historical information about Rosemary Cemetery. Some of the different interesting things and people who you might find here. If you notice, it's pretty plain looking. You don't see a lot of flowers or anything marking these graves, like no one comes here to visit. Here is a small child's above ground crypt or tomb. This grave belonged to Elizabeth Merriweather, born in 1911 and died in 1911. So you do see there are quite a few infant and children's graves here. This is J.M. Salter, January 11th, 1885, November 8th, 1925. Gone, but not forgotten. And here's Mahaley D. Salters, September 1886, June 1967. Father, L.E. Stubbs, 1861 to 1941. This is Caroline Emily French. She was born July 13th, 1924, died August 3rd, 1924. Kaysen, Lottie and Samp, 1883 to 1901 for Lottie, and 1858 to 1957 for Samp. Beloved mother and father. Here's the Buchanan tomb. We have Pamela Webb and William E. Here you have Henry Menning. Captain James D. Mason, 1875 to 1925, across the bar. This is the only section of this graveyard where I see any flowers or anything left out on any of the tombs. And this belongs to the Titus family. As you can see, a number of them are here. Kathleen McDaniel Titus. And there's also Fenimores. Martha Swain Fenimores. Candace Fenimore. Donald Loudon Fenimore. Blanche Louise Swain, Boswell Roswell. Charles V. Swain Jr. And this 2006 is one of the most recent headstones I have seen here. He was born in 1914. But again, this is the only section of the grave where I see anybody coming, bringing flowers, or leaving anything here for the graves. Most of it just looks empty like this. A lot of above ground tombs here. That was apparently the fashion back in the early 20th century. Especially here in Florida where the ground is very, very wet. Richard Jeffcott died June 27, 1902, aged 37 years. Father and mother. RJ. In loving memory of Henry Halton, born March 29, 1844, died June 8, 1911. Mary A. Halton, born January 21, 1847, died September 20, 1929. Ernest Jones Bright, 1868 to 1927. Alice Spencer Bright, 1877 to 1931. Robert Holloway Kennedy, December 5, 1907 to July 17, 1937. Samuel J.T. Davis, Commander 1st Florida Infantry, Spanish-American War. And the Davises are right behind him, S. Tilden and Belle E. Fanny Burdett McKean, December 9, 1850 to October 6, 1936. Broadway, David C., June 22, 1879 to November 1, 1972. And Ada L., September 12, 1885 to July 10, 1974. Here are two unmarked stones. Just think good thoughts for whoever may be here. This one is Henry Clifford, son of Mr. and Mrs. N.L. Heyman, born June 7, 1902, died August 23, 1908. C.C.H. And another unmarked stone. Here again is another completely unmarked grave. It's a very small one, probably a child's. Let's just send some good thoughts to all of these graves here, which are unmarked, these three here. John Bunyan Kennedy, 1844 to 1907. John W. Kennedy, Florida, Private 3rd Infantry, July 16, 1930. And another unmarked stone. Thy Will Be Done, Stephen D. McKean, 1845 to 1905. Our Baby, Scott Thomas Birdsong, 1969 to 1971. Joseph C. Leach and Benjamin Stickney. And it says that Joseph was a native of Boston and Benjamin was a native of St. Louis. Infant daughter of Randolph and Isla Calhoun, born and died December 8, 1928. Molly B. Pamplin, 1858 to 1928. Octavius and Julia Bell. He died in 1929, but I don't see a date of death for her. Willie Ray Bell, wife of H.T. Terrell, December 24, 1881 to May 1, 1925. Henry L. Gore, August 22, 1928 to January 24, 1929. A little bud of love to bloom with God above. Well, there you have it, our little cemetery walk. Maybe you have a cemetery near you. It's a wonderful place to walk and reflect, relax. I have several cemeteries that I like to go visit, but today's I shared that with you because that is one of my favorite places to go. Hey, I had a really good idea after I went there today. There's a lot of homeless people who hang out down there by that cemetery, and I noticed it's really got a lot of garbage and stuff down there. Let me know in the comments what you think of this idea. What about going down there with some garbage bags and some gloves? Maybe offering some of those people $5 a garbage bag to pick up some trash? Let me know what you think. Hey, make sure you join us tomorrow, because tomorrow it's day 12, our final day of the 12 days of Gothic Yule. So make sure you tune in. Parfait is going to be sharing some Gothic gift selections with you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.